All right, I'm going to mute everyone and we're going to get started.
Okay.
And then we'll have some time for questions and answers and discussions. We'll do a check-in, you can unmute yourself. So welcome to Spring Equinox. It's already spring. It's quite, it just feels like things are moving so fast, and I think they really are. My name is Monica Moss Gransberry, and
I'm Everett Gransberry.
And so for about 30 years, more than 30 years, I've been helping people map their future and make their visions real. For those of you who don't know me or Everett, I'm a best-selling author. We've been speakers, entrepreneurs together, self-mastery coaches, and we founded this community to support all of our self-mastery and personal growth. So let's do a little check-in. So I'll kind of do a roll call. You can say your name and how you are coming into this session, how you're feeling as we're starting. So let's get Alex, and then Emily, Lisa, and then TL.
So my name is Alex, and I come into this meeting with a lot of curiosity and a lot of eagerness to learn what all this is about.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Greetings, I'm Emily, and I am coming into the session with a positive outlook and a positive mindset, and looking to build on the positives that transpired today and taking those into the spring season.
Awesome. Lisa, you want to check in? I got you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lisa Richards-Toney, and I had been feeling really grounded, which was a surprise, first of all, and I want to make sure that I can really maintain that. It's an interesting thing because I have been not working for about a year, and I've been the kind of lifestyle we have now where we're kind of home, everybody has to kind of take care of like the basics, just really like cut away the fat. Like I've been doing that. And so it's like one of the first times I was telling a friend, like I can actually tell people like, this is what I actually do all the time. And I felt like okay about it, because coming from being, a really like driven professional and, having to kind of slow myself down to take care of my mother and just all kinds of things, my family, it was just a hard pill to swallow. But one of the things I've been thinking about and feeling is that we as a country and a society in general, like there's so many important lessons in that space of grounding ourselves, regardless of how you feel about the situation, why it happened, whose fault, all these things. But just in the space of what you can do and how you react as your personal, like it's something really important, I feel, to know how to be centered and be a survivor, in your own self.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've been thinking about.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Tia? Oh, let me unmute.
Good evening. Oh, hello, everyone. My name is TL, and I'm just finding, as this has been going on, because I've been watching it for months now when it started over in Wuhan. I've been sort of watching it. I like to stay up on my current events, and figured it would get here at some point, but none of us really knew what to expect. So now that it's sort of all around us and changing our daily lives, I feel grounded most of the time, and I have a group of positive friends that I surround myself with, so that's good. But I have my moments where I get a little anxious, And I was telling Monica earlier, I treated myself this Christmas by buying an elliptical and putting it in my office. So I take little breaks, and when I'm feeling really anxious, I can go on there and put on a little J-Lo and Shakira on the computer and just kind of rock out to it, get some stress out. So that's been a good release, I guess would be the word. And so basically day to day, I feel pretty good, but checking those news feeds can get a little upsetting. So I'm on the call tonight because I want to maybe get some good advice from a great community here and finding out maybe some tips and tricks on how to stay grounded and making sure that I'm there for myself and for the people that I care about when they need someone. So that's why I'm here. So it's nice to be with all of you tonight.
Thank you. Welcome. Kim, hi. Hi, Kim. Okay.
Can you
Okay.
hear me?
You're
Oh, wait.
Yeah, you're unmuted. I was messing with it.
I'm going to put it on video, even though there's not a lot of light in here.
Okay.
So I think I missed the question, but I get the gist of it.
How are you coming into this session?
Yeah, I was listening to Lisa, I think it was,
Mhm.
and I was feeling pretty grounded, which I have not been for a while. Been really out of balance. And so ironically, I was making a turning point into feeling really good and really grounded. And like this is spring break for me, and I had so many things that I wanted to do this week in terms of my health and spirit, and everything just kind of crashed. And so I'm trying to check back into that grounding. I'm trying to find that grounding again. I'm trying to remind myself that sometimes I have to take control of situations. I have students who are anxious, angry, nervous. They were traveling, and so I found myself equally anxious with them. And so I've had to find a way to just kind of stop and breathe and share that breath with them. And control my own anxiety, because I came down with a cold this week, and so my mental anxiety started to set into play, like, what's going on. And so I'm just trying to maintain my strength, because I know that I have to be support for a lot of people.
Ashe. Yes. And there's someone whose who's on the phone that just says owner's phone. Who are you? Welcome.
Good evening. This is Chandra McMillian. How are you? How's everyone?
Great. Hi, Chandra. Welcome.
Thank
How
you.
are you entering our session tonight?
I am entering out and about. So first, I'm just thankful for this space, and also earlier today reading something that not only reminded me of the equinox and tomorrow being the first day of spring, but just appreciating, like, wow, there's so much going on, but like that was not even a consciousness, but for these reminders, which I greatly appreciate. And I don't know if it's the case, but I am in Michigan, and I did a round of shopping last Thursday, just in case. It is that, even though there may be many rumors, but this is going to, kind of be on lockdown beginning tomorrow evening. And so again, it's like, well, just in case, let me get anything that I didn't get the first time, especially because I have a 12-year-old son, and so they've been out of school for a week. And my parents, who are both My father is 80, and well, actually, no, they just turned 79. So my parents are approaching, like 80. So just, doing what I can to make sure that we're prepared, and also not only prepared for the worst, but also prepared for the best, for this to be a quality time of us being together and slowing down in a way that I often don't have the opportunity to do with them for an extended period of time outside of things like the holidays and vacations. So
Amen.
I'm entering in a pretty good place.
Awesome.
But again, I am going to put you back on mute because I'm about to get back out of the car and go into another store.
Okay.
Going to Better Health. Mm-hmm.
So I'm entering in great excitement and anticipation for all that we'll share tonight and what we'll all learn, including myself. Everett?
Yeah. I said to my wife and my daughter this morning that despite the condition that we're currently in, displacing my daughter from Atlanta up here to Cleveland and her 4 children to come in and hunker down with us, that I'm probably the happiest person in the house. And I think during the course of this conversation, I'll reveal some of the reasons why it is I feel that way.
Cool. So we're going to get started. So one of the things that we're paying attention to is the concept of Sankofa. Go back and fetch it, which is what it means. It's an Ndinkra symbol from West Africa. And I want to call on the wisdom of our grandmothers. These are a bunch of moms and grandmoms that are in our family circle. My great grandmother as well, and because they've survived so many things and made a way for us, and our intention is to make a way for the next 7 generations to come after us. And so how are we going back and fetching that wisdom that allowed, in our case, in our family, us to survive slavery and all kinds of trauma, and also the Great Depression. How can we pull on that wisdom to create a way for survival through this pandemic and into the future? Yeah.
So when you look at the spring equinox, it's powerful. It's a time of the year where such powerful energy and regeneration takes place on the planet. The flowers, the plants, the grass, the animals, all are reborn, and they're called into action to begin the process of fertilizing the earth and renewing all the greenery and all the beautiful stuff associated with it. And then we get hit with this situation that we are in, and everybody, to a degree, we all become a little bit worried about this thing and the damage that it's doing worldwide. But there was some stuff that made me kind of happy, and I have to speak to the same voice that Miss McMillan was speaking under, is that there were some beautiful things that have happened from this. I bought my family, my daughter and her 4 children, together and brought them up here to Cleveland so that we could come together. So there's a positive stuff associated with that, is that we're shutting down as a family, but we're actually re-examining and re-exploring our contacts with each other and our feelings. All of those things are coming to light. In addition to that, because we can't go anywhere, it gives us additional time to reflect. I haven't really had much quality time with my wife because I got 4 children running around here, but I know that it will allow me the opportunity to feed into that energy as well. It's just we know that we're in a situation, we're going to deal with it. The universe is going to allow us to pass right through this. But when this comes back, if we hold on to these things that we're paying attention to, bringing together our families and just slowing down and reflecting and taking those positive things, when we rebuild, we also have an opportunity to refresh and re-energize our feelings and our treatment towards one another.
So I love this photo, this image of the frog in the pot, in the boiling pot, who's happy and smiling because he doesn't even realize he's getting cooked. And I think a lot of what's happening now, and a lot of times we're unaware of what's going on around us, and we're not quite paying as much attention as we might want to. And we often get caught in situations where we're getting ourselves cooked and not realize it. And so I think especially when I hear like even one of my sons is like, oh, well, I want to take advantage of the coronavirus sales and go to Puerto Rico. I'm like, you won't be able to get back. What are you thinking? Because he's like, I'm not going to get sick. And I agree he's not. But I even saw one of my daughter's friends who got stuck in Guatemala because she took one of those cheap flights, thinking, oh, I'll get a quick vacation. So people who aren't paying attention to the severity and the magnitude of this condition and this crisis are like this frog in the pot. And it's kind of one of the things I've been really paying attention to is how do I scan and keep up with what's going on, which is changing daily and hourly, without kind of buying into any fear or any negative thought pattern around what's happening, so that I can keep my energy and my spirit up, even though I know I have to pay attention to this, and when do I take a break and when do I pay attention. And so that also inspired our talk tonight.
Yeah, a little story that I'll share with you is that every year we go to the Caribbean island of St. Lucia for a jazz festival. And we were going through a situation. I happened to look and noticed that the Bureau of Tourism for the island had canceled the festival for this year. Well, we generally take a group of people with us, and so we stay in a private villa. Because the festival, we sold the trip based on the festival itself, and that not coming, we had to sit down and reflect upon a lot of things. 8 years running, we have been going, and we had never not gone. And we were sitting around thinking, well, we could still go and have a great time. We do have these 2 private villas. So we were thinking about it, but then, all of this stuff about, the travel restrictions going down, now we got to rethink this thing and say, okay, so what if we take all these people here and we can't get out of the country or get back in, which would even be even worse. So that became problematic. In addition to that, heaven forbid we should cart all of these people to St. Lucia and someone gets sick. We'd never get over that. So we made a conscious decision to cancel it. Now, we're inside 60-day window, which means we would have lost everything in regards to that. So I reached out to the villa sponsors, the owners of the villas, and asked them if we could reschedule for 1 year. So we moved the schedule from this year's festival to the same timeline for next year. And they granted that to us, which is really a strange request, but I felt like we were really blessed to have that happen. So we're all set for next year. We have paid for villas, and the only thing that we'll have to regroup will be the airfare, but we did take travel insurance, so we should be covered on that as well. You think about how you can take something that's bad and spin it around and make it something wonderful. That also speaks to the energy of the spring equinox.
Mm. Yeah. So I'm going to have us do an exercise. If you could get a piece of paper and something to write with, we're going to draw a little mind map. So I'll give you time to get something to write with. And a mind map is kind of like you start in the center and you work your way out with all your thoughts and ideas. So the question is, what are the most important things you need to consider over the next 30 days that would allow you to survive and thrive? So you got, take about 3 minutes to just brainstorm and put down everything you can think of. Question?
Yeah, this is just a list.
Yeah, or a mind map, you know, you could draw the circles and
Yeah.
connect the dots if you like.
Okay.
Because I can't even focus sticker. Usually I do the exercise. And Chandra, you can just be thinking about it in your head because I know you're moving around. So take one more minute to finish your thoughts. Looks like someone new joined us. What we're doing is creating a mind map on a piece of paper to answer the question, what are the most important things you need to consider over the next 30 days that would allow you to survive and thrive? And this session is being recorded, so you'll get a copy of the recording and if you don't get finished right now. So look at your mind map and pick out of all the things, pick out the 3 most important things that you need to be paying attention to. Don't overthink it, just go, oh, these are the 3 most important things. Now, pick out the 1 most important thing, and it may not be any of the 3 that you first identified. Okay, and let's do a little reporting out. So, oh, Everett's writing his down. So let's take the person who just came on board. If you could just say your name and the 1 most important thing that you need to pay attention to over the next 30 days to survive and thrive. I'll unmute you. You're Unmute yourself then. I think you're muted. All I see is owner's phone. That's why I was calling you on first, so I could find out who you are. Okay, so no pressure. How about Chandra? Do you have something you're paying most? Oh, wait, here they go. I can't hear you. I'll come back to you. Chandra, are you available to talk? Okay, I'm gonna move to TL. TL, I've got you unmuted.
Okay.
What was your most important thing?
Most important thing, well, I think for most of us, it's going to be our health. So that's the situation we're in.
So for you, it's your health?
Is health.
Okay, great.
Well, I think it's top of mind for everyone.
Okay. Kim?
Yeah, mine is health as well.
Lisa? You're muted, Lisa. Yeah.
Okay. Mine is maintaining my routines and, the health part of that. I think for me, it comes in that because there are things that I set up a schedule for myself, for my kids, healthy eating, like all of that plays a part. And if I can just be all of that will kind of fall into place because I have routines to make these things active. But if I go into panic mode and I don't do them, then I sit around like today, which I didn't do any of them. And there's a point in time when I was like, I could see it, like, what's your water routine, just drinking your water, all the things that I said when I wake up at the same time every day, all those things to me, they matter in terms of my ability to get through the day and not feel drained. And when we feel stressed, we're more susceptible to just the decision making that we make, how we handle ourselves, the wear and tear it has on our bodies. So for me, it's that routines.
Awesome. Everett, what was your one thing?
For me, it's actually safety and the well-being of my family. For me, it's a lot going on here. I have my daughter. I have her under my care as well as her 4 children and my wife. And I have 3 others out there that are part of our
Blended
family that I have to concern myself with and make certain that they're doing well, that their spirits are up, and that they're safe. So for me, that's, I think that's what I should be focused on. And I can allow Monica to focus on other things, just maintaining the household, et cetera, et cetera. So that's my point of emphasis.
I think for me, it's for the last few days, it's been structure, because I knew we were introducing lots of yummy little wonderful beings into our lives and our household, which is actually situated for 2 adults who are empty nesters. And so restructuring our meals, our routines in ways that support us and the children has been my focus. And then food has been my focus for the last few days. The other thing I'm focused on is what are like others have said, what are the things that keep you grounded and centered? And we'll get into some of the things that we've been working with a little later. But thank you for sharing your thoughts. well, a little later, like now. So there's some things that mhm. There's some things that, yeah, there's some, oh, Emily, I'm sorry. I missed you. Emily and Alex.
Alex had to step away, but for me, it was maintaining healthy choices. And I think someone said it earlier, going back to the foundational, some of the foundational things with just breathing, eating, staying healthy so that I can cope with a healthy mindset, healthy perspective. And for me, more flexibility versus structure and schedules. So being able to just adjust without causing, I wouldn't say panic, but being able to comfortably adjust when needed versus relying on the routine or relying on the schedule and the structure. So that's been at the forefront for me the past week.
Wow. And that, you know, it just reminds us that one, in different moments, we'll need different things, and each of us has different needs. Normally, I'm not as fixated on structure until I kind of realized I could become overwhelmed with, our house could become overwhelmed. You know, we have only so many dishes, so we do have to do the dishes at every meal versus waiting till later. And just kind of some simple things. And I was like, I knew from experience that the more, if we put the structure in place, it would give us calm and flexibility, and we'd know we could get into a routine so we wouldn't have to think about those things, and we could think about the things because we still are working and trying to manage remote scheduling. So these are some, I had been working with a list for a while because my clients were coming in with stress, anxiety, and then when we had our last group meeting, the last couple of group meetings with the life mapping members, of which Emily is one of those members that's on the call tonight, the more ideas were coming. So we wanted to share some of those with you tonight. So spiritual survival strategies. And when I say spiritual, it's like, how do you stay connected to your own spirit in ways that support you being grounded, centered, able to hear your intuition, that voice that speaks without words, that's helping guide you when you don't have enough information. You're not going to have, you know, it's changing hourly. You might miss that one announcement, but you still need to keep moving in a good way. And so meditating, even if, you know, we just say 15 minutes anytime throughout the day, either throughout the day or at least in the morning to get a good start. And when I say meditate, I mean clear your mind. And I remember years ago, I would just fall asleep every time I would try and meditate because I was so, I had little bitty kids and I was working and I'd do 3 shifts and all of this stuff. So I started doing a moving meditation. I started making my chores a meditation. So there's lots of ways you can meditate, whatever, in ways that just quiet the mind. Even yoga is a process that's designed to quiet the mind. The other thing, and I think someone else mentioned it, is breathing. And we'll do an activity, an exercise that I've done many times before that just is a way to use breath to energize your body and your spirit. Any gratitude practice, whether it's a gratitude journal or whether you're, you know, listing all the things you're grateful for as you wake up or as you go to sleep, whatever gratitude practice feels good That's often a way to raise your vibration and your spirit and get connected to, no matter what craziness is may be going on around you, find peace and gratitude and calm in the midst of the storm. Walk in nature, get outside every day. Nature is so healing. Even if you're walking in city streets, but just get some air and don't, even though we're distancing, not kind of sequestering inside and not getting out in nature, so that you can, even if sometimes I'll get stressed and I'll just go outside and put my bare feet in the grass, mostly in the backyard, because the front yard we have dogs and things that come by and from our neighbors, but just for 5 minutes, and just do some breathing and let the universe and nature just help me shift my energy. If you find that you're in some negative space or thought process, take a nap. We've slowed down. The world has slowed down. Take a quick nap, even if you need to set a timer so you don't miss your next thing, whatever that is. But nothing like 20-minute nap. It does the same thing as meditation. It stops the momentum. It clears the mind for a few minutes so that you can get out ahead of whatever the worry is or the discomfort. And find some time for silence. Even if you decide meditation is not your thing, sometime when you're not creating noise, there's no TV, no radio, no talking, no phone, no texting, just stillness and silence is really helpful, because that's when you can start to practice hearing your own inner voice, your own spirit communicating with you from, whatever you want to call it, the spirit world, or Abraham Hicks says the vortex, or, tapping into that universal wisdom where all knowledge is stored, that place where we all came from and that we will go back to. Pay attention to your self-talk. Very important that you speak about what you want and pay attention more to what you do want than what you don't want. Staying in the present moment and what's needed now versus in the past, especially. And of course, we are always looking to the future and looking to manifest and create what you want next. And we'll talk a little bit about that today. But being in the present moment so you can be aware and scanning your environment, what's needed, what's around you, what's happening, and not, it's like somehow balancing the staying in the future and putting your head in the sand so you don't get your energy, so your energy and vibration stays high, and paying attention to the now so that you can enjoy the now, what's enjoyable of it, and also keep yourself safe. So how do you modulate going back and forth? And also, comes to the next bullet point of modulating your media intake. How much media do you want to take in? How long are you going to watch the news before you say, okay, they're repeating themselves, let me turn it off and do something different? Paying attention to your body and your emotions to know when you've had enough of any one thing, and then shifting and doing something different. And the last thing, really staying connected with positive people. It's what drives Everett and I around building this community, this life mapping community, and really in our everyday interactions and our everyday life. So we wanted to do some intention setting for the spring equinox, and given everything that's going on, how do we set a powerful, taking some time to set a powerful intention around what we do want, and make a way and some momentum around how we want to move through these times, the next 30 days or so, and also maybe even a little longer, how we want to survive and thrive through the whole pandemic, which we don't know how long that will last, but we can set some intentions around it being, right now as we enter this new energy. You want to say anything?
I think my intention is to continue this model of reflection, re-examination, and reconnection. I think that's the best way to build off of this whole thing with the pandemic, is because you really are going to have to reinvent your social circles. And this is an opportunity after reflection to have that have some serious purpose and serious intent. I was told one time that every day you should take a mental picture of 360 degrees of your life in order to maintain a proper lifestyle and proper momentum going forward through life. The reason for that is that people come in and out of your life. Those that truly care about you stay. Those that have misintentions, they come and go. And you want to be able to filter those things out. So I think my intention will be to take this time that I've had to reflect and examine and reinvent how I want to move going forward, will slow me down and slow my social circle down, so that all the people that I deal with have a positive energy, have some direction, have a clear vision that I can help support them in, and that I can do the same for myself.
So we're going to open up the mics. I guess I'll do a little bit of a roll call to have you set your intention, and we're going to, and those of us, even though we may be muted, I want you to, when they set their intention, like the Everett just set his intention, I want to say, I agree that it will be so. So I'm going to just go down the list as it appears on my screen and unmute Emily. And what's your intention for the next 30 plus days or for the spring?
My intention is to, I think someone said it earlier, maintain positive energy, higher energy, and I think I said it earlier, to focus on my health so that I'm making decisions with the most healthy mindset, the most healthy perspective, and having the greater good, the greater outcomes be part of my intentions as well, versus just my circle or my group or my home, to expand it to the communities, the states, the nations, the globe, to, so that it just spreads and overtakes all of what's going on. To be vigilant, I would say, to be more passionate about all of the positive, getting through this and through to the positive. And so that's my intention, is to be vigilant. And I think you said it, pause and assess, what, observe and scan, and then just take time to process it, assess it, and see the greatest outcome. And we just don't know when that's going to happen, but that's my intention, is to get through this to the positive side of it and be able to look back. You started with Sankofa, and I truly believe we'll be able to look back, say this time next year, and say, wow, we got through that season or that time.
Ashe.
I agree.
I agree. Thank you. Lisa, I'm unmuting you.
Okay. my intention is to, yeah, I'm coming with it, is to take the small steps that I can take day by day to weave my day in a way that I know, because I've already experienced, will be really positive for me, to set me up in a space where I can have that positively transfer to all the people in my family who are around me every day. So my intention is to just be mindful of my self-talk, my actions, to keep in mind that we're all doing the best we can, and then to just do my best with the small things, the beats that happen throughout the day. That's what I want to do.
We agree. I agree. Thank you. Kim, I'm coming to unmute you next. Okay, unmute yourself. Because we keep, thank you.
I have been on Zoom all week long, so I should be an expert at this by now. I'm going to take up some thoughts that Everett put out, and that is to re-examine and to reflect. And I'm very conscious, or I have become very conscious this week, last week into this week, about my energy and what I send outward. And so I want to be very, what's the word? I want to be very honoring of what I say, how I speak, how I put myself out. But in order to do that, I also have to reflect on myself and be okay with where I am. So that is going to take some of those things that you said, meditation, focus. It's a reinvesting of my humanity to send that positive energy out.
Oh, yes, I agree.
I'm going to be there with you every step of the way.
Thank you. I feel you.
TL, I'm unmuting you.
Yeah, my intention is to enjoy every day and find little ways to incorporate some joy into my life. I think that'll help keep me grounded. It'll keep me in the right headspace. Whether it's calling a friend or writing a little note to somebody or letter. A friend of mine who tends to read over the books that I write mentioned a book that I'd written years ago that I totally forgot about. And so when I came up with this idea this morning of trying to infuse a little joy into my day, I thought, I gotta find that. And I tore the house apart this morning, couldn't find it. So I looked at my computer and I thought, well, I'm just gonna print all 100 pages. I don't care. And I've been reading it today. And I tell you what, wow, it does bring me a lot of joy, because I forgot the story and I forgot how, the story went, and it makes me think, wow, I'm a pretty good writer, because this thing is about 10. Yeah, this thing's about 10 years old, at least. So, just doing little things like that for myself, I think, will just keep me in a good place. Because when you're feeling joy and you're feeling love, you're not feeling fear. You can't feel both of those at the same time. So
Amen.
you can't feel love and fear at the same time. So that's what I'm doing. I am doing that for myself. And then hopefully it will expand to my friends, family, and community.
Yeah.
Agree to that.
Chandra, I think this is you next. You're not muted unless you have your phone muted. She's in motion, so she might not be able to come back. And the other iPhone that's on the call, that's not Chandra, can you unmute and share your intention? Ah, hi. Wonderful to see your beautiful face. But I can't hear you yet. She's looking. No, she's not muted by me. You can't figure it out? Okay. What I could offer, if you can touch the chat, if you can go in the chat and you could put your intention there and then I'll read it to the group. No. All right. Well,
look at the bottom of the screen. Tap the bottom.
That's an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Kim. Give instruction.
If you try to tap the bottom of the phone to where there's a screen that should pop up, and that's where the chat is. It's also where your mute button is.
Ah. Okay. Oh, I saw the mute.
You sure you can take it off?
Oh. She's unmuted on my end.
You're halfway there. You're unmuted on our end.
There, try it now. Yeah, still can't hear you. Check your volume. Okay, all right. We love you. We're holding your intention and agreeing with you, even though we don't know what it is. We know it's good.
Can you send us an email?
Oh, Everett, an email? Okay.
Can you send us an email?
I can't read lips, but it sounded like she'll figure something out.
Okay.
You still can't hear me.
Oh, now we hear you. Absolutely.
So
Yay.
what I think happened is that initially I didn't have video. So then I called back on video, and then somehow I guess it didn't hang up the other. So I've been trying to communicate. So you showed me as a new person and the old person. So now I realized.
Okay.
So that's when I said, let me just go completely out and come back in. And when I did the first thing, I guess you all could hear me. So thank you for your patience. Let me go back to where I could see you guys. Okay, so I'm now in Myers. So my intention, which was influenced by the last thing that was said, is actually to just have as much fun as I can. I was going to say my intention was to restore because I want to get organized. There's some things I want to let go. There's some things I'm really looking forward to having time to connect with. But actually, that didn't sound as much fun. So I'm like, my intention is to really have as much fun as possible, over these next, like 30 days and just really enjoy everybody that I know and everything that I have.
Oh, awesome. I agree. And I'm also being influenced by the group to stay with the joy part of life, because I've been practicing joy and signing in my signature, my emails, peace and joy, because I've been practicing having peace, having joy. The other thing I really am doing a lot of, it's been a practice, is listen and obey, really hearing my spirit and doing whatever that instruction is. So even shifting the topic on this evening and sending out some different kinds of emails than I usually send out has been me listening to my spirit around what's needed now, and did some other things for my business clients so they could have strategy sessions and get some support around the things they're going through with their businesses, and that has been really having some amazing conversations. So taking care of my body, my spirit, and listening and obeying, and still continuing to find joy. I'm going to agree with all of you all on that. So shall we do that thing now?
If they have the energy for it, I think that'd be good.
Okay, so we'd like to just ground these intentions using this kind of breath energy work that we've used before. I think it's appropriate and you'll experience it in the ways that you can if you're moving or if you're sitting with kids or whatever, but you can do it anytime, anywhere, and bring yourself back present to yourself, connect to your spirit, get grounded and centered through this particular breathing exercise. So if you're, refresh your posture in your chair, lift up so that you can breathe deeply into your gut and your belly, and your spine is fairly straight and your shoulders are relaxed. And start by just taking a few deep breaths that are down into the pit of your belly and exhaling until your lungs are completely empty, and then push a little bit more air out. Chandra, you can just breathe quieter than I do so that people won't look at you too crazy in the store. Now that you've got your breath going, imagine an energy like a laser light going through down to deep into the earth. And as you breathe, pulling the healing green light of the planet into your feet and up through your legs and hips. And as you exhale, out the top of your crown chakra and through your fingertips. And let's just do that for a few minutes, few breaths. Just get that healing energy. It's going to be supportive of your health, restoring your organs, all of your nerve endings, all the way through the top of your head, opening each chakra as the energy of the planet, bright green and loving and vibrant, flows through your body from the earth and goes out of the top of your head. You can even magnify it by just taking breathing in through your nose and out through your nose like you do in yoga. And now, as you breathe in, take the air from spirit, the golden light of spirit, through the top of your crown chakra, down through your body, through your hands, and through your feet, back into the earth. And have that golden light going in and up and down your spine and throughout your body for a few more breaths. And then you can alternate. You can breathe in through your feet, the green energy out through the top of your head, and then exhale, and then inhale the golden light through your head, down through your feet, and then alternate back and forth. You just like till your whole body starts to vibrate. It's just feeling so good. When you're ready and you feel good, you can open your eyes and come back into the space of our meeting. So, given your intentions, given everything that you're aware of, the things you have said you needed to pay attention to, let's look at the next 30 days. And if you want to write this down, that would be the best idea. If you can't write it this time, just picture it in your mind. How do you want to feel? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to, how do you want to live and spend your time? So I'll give you a few more minutes. And you don't have to overthink it, just whatever comes to you that makes sense.
From a timeline standpoint, just want to let everyone know that we're just about done here.
Yeah, we're almost finished. Probably about 5 or 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes. So this is your 30-day action plan. You want to pay attention to how you feel. Make a short list, 1 or 2 or 3 things at the most that you want to accomplish during these next 30 days. And then how do you want to live and spend your time? So this is back to one of you who said, just every moment, make good decisions, find joy in each moment as you go through your daily activities. I think that was Lisa. And so picture in your mind, write down in your journal how you want to feel, how you want to live, how you want to spend your time. And then I always recommend that you place this short list or these few statements, your answer to these 3 questions, somewhere where you can see it regularly as whether it's your mirror, on your desktop, or your workspace, somewhere where you can be reminded, oh, this is what I'm doing, no matter what else the universe or the world calls me to do. I'm also paying attention. I want to feel joy. I want to, there may be some things you want to accomplish. I know one of my goals as things are slowing down is to finish filing. I started it before Christmas, and then now I have more piles. But to really get things filed away so I can have clear surfaces and feel organized. And then I just want to really enjoy the time with family and time with myself and moving my body. In a good way. All the ways that are good. Giving me the side eye. Moving. All right, I've got a technical difficulty. Hold on. Oh, there we go. So we're going to take a moment to just have conversation. If you have questions or insights or thoughts or confusions or want to make a statement, we want to just open the mic. You just unmute yourself and talk at this point. If there are any questions or thoughts that you want to share.
I have a unstructured thought,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, when we moved into this paradigm of having to move all instruction online, and then for me, even getting sick on Sunday, I've been in isolation. I haven't gone outside of my home since Sunday, except to like put the trash out or to step out on my balcony. I've been in isolation, and having to put everything now on Zoom and to do everything online. One of the things that you said was to reconnect with positive people. And I realized, you know, today, not just this evening, how important it is to find that connection somewhere. And yeah, we spend a lot of time saying, oh, I just need to be by myself, I need to think. But having been by myself now for almost a week, I really appreciate human contact, and having it through a video mode has been even interesting for me to try and figure out, I'm kind of looking forward to how I can interact with my students when we get back on Monday. Just, I don't know, there's no rhyme or reason to what I want to say. I just want to appreciate the value of being able to connect with people who I don't know, who are not in my family, who are not immediately in my circle, but to hear similar visions and similar thoughts. It's just, I guess, reassuring,
Awesome.
comforting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can feel that. I can understand it. I can relate to it. And I think this will be a concept that will be ongoing, no matter what happens with this thing. I think people will naturally begin to slow down, operate in smaller circles, and be more authentic, not only with themselves, but with the people that they come in contact with. So I think that's important. And I think that we should focus on that, and that we should form groups of like-minded people. Some that we know, some that we don't know, just to get a feel for what this type of situation is going to create for us going forward.
Anyone else?
This is Chandra. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, just want to just appreciation for this time, even in the midst of driving from place to place in the rain and going to 2 stores and finding them closed, being here in a new store where there's full and very empty shelves. But again, just appreciating that no matter where we are, we can be intentional about making space and about connecting. And, you know, just, again, just really just for me, when I think about this whole situation, it just, to me, just provides one opportunity after another to really be appreciative for what we have and to be appreciative for you making the space during this time.
Thank you. Anyone else, Lisa or TL? I asked Emily to say a few words about her experience as part of this community. She's been very consistently with us on our Tuesday night mastermind class calls as a member, and just wanted to give her some space just to share the impact on her.
Thank you, Monica. Being part of the self-mastery mastermind has brought greater consistency to not only my spiritual outlook and spiritual pursuits, but my professional activities and goals. So having the consistency has given me greater focus on assessing my choices, assessing everything I'm doing, just giving it greater focus and putting more positive energy into it versus I've had a tendency in the past to perhaps muddle over decisions or actions, and being in the group has helped me move past that and take greater action, but consistent action. And so each week I look forward to having that safe space to share and grow and learn and just talk about what I was able to apply that worked, what I was able to apply that I learned from. So it's been excellent so far.
Thanks. So some of you know this, some of you may not. We have a couple levels of membership for our life mapping community. One is a free membership. You get access to several videos, and you know, there's some free events like this one that come with that, and some downloads and, you know, simple things. The full access membership, you have access to our digital courses and a weekly mastermind session with me and Everett that's live. We're all learning together. We're building a learning community, and if that's something that's of interest to you, you can feel free to join us. And if you have questions about it, we're happy to talk to you about it. And regardless of that, we thought in 30 days we should come back together. And we thought April 16th, which is another Thursday, 6 o'clock. We don't have to wait till 8 o'clock since we're all working from home. Would be a good time for us to check in on how it's been going, because things are changing rapidly, and we will just see where we are in 30 days and how it's been going. And it'll help us hold that intention and our 30-day action plan, how we want to feel, what we want to accomplish, how we want to live and be higher up in our consciousness if we know we're getting back together in 30 days.
Yeah, I think that's nice. And we were talking earlier because some of you are dealing with family. You have young people in your family. So I'm thinking it might be well if we get together and see if we can structure something for young people so that they can openly discuss their feelings and how they are living within this environment. Because there's a lot of change going on in a young person's mind right now based on how there is no school, no outside activities, you're being confined to home, all of these different things are going through their head, and you kind of have to draw back in on them too to hold space with them so they don't get too goosey in the household. I think it'd be a nice little venue for kids to talk to each other, whether they know each other or not. So if you have anybody out there tonight that might want to do that, shoot us an email and we'll see if we can put something together for the youngsters.
Yeah. And as you know, you can reach us through our website on mossgransberry.com. We'll be sending this video out to all of you and to our other members as part of the next steps. So, and then we wanted to make some space for closing. Oh, hold on, I'm getting there. So let's just each say one thing we're taking away from today's session. Emily, you want to go first since you're unmuted?
Sure. One takeaway for me was, I'm not sure who said it, about filtering out those with misintentions. And I have a tendency to want to reach out and help those who, have a different viewpoint, or who might be panicking or buying into some of the negative aspects of what's going on. And so filtering out those with misintentions, or those with, say, a negative spin on things, was a takeaway for me that I'm going to be cognizant of and just more aware of. So
Awesome.
that was my one takeaway.
Thank you. Chandra, I'm coming to you.
All right, you can hear me?
Yeah.
The first thing that came to my mind is just breathing. It's something that I remind others to do. It's something that I know is amazingly transformative and that we kind of forget the power of, but I needed to be reminded of it again this evening. So I'm taking away just breathe.
Awesome. Lisa, I'm coming to you next.
Okay, I'm back. I was here, but I was putting my youngest to sleep. So
Awesome.
I think I'll take away, like, the I forget your name, I'm sorry, who just spoke.
Chandra.
Chandra, yes, the breath and the importance of it in my beat by beat moments. And that, it expands time when you breathe. It's amazing. You always feel like I'm always rushing up against some, I don't know, unmet expectation or something. But I think if I could just breathe more, and my time will expand. It just does. Something about your body just allows it to happen. So I have to do that, because that's going to be the thing. That's going to keep me getting through my day, that's my goal, is to get through, beat by beat. So the breath is also very important.
Awesome.
Thank you. TL, I'm coming to you next. I got you unmuted.
Okay. I think it's just important that we realize we're all in this together. And we know through you, Monica, that we have a community that we're able to come to and able to share if, and maybe we have other little communities here and there, and then you just pull it all together, and it's a nice tapestry that you can go to for support and positive energy, and just keep that going, because there are going to be ups and downs with this thing, with news reports, and we don't really know what we don't know at this point. And I think it's just important to have those communities that you can go to and talk to. And I like that you're scheduling another one in 30 days, because I think you usually do these quarterly.
Mm-hmm.
Because that'll give us time in 30 days to reflect and say, okay, we got through that. And
we're still here.
We're still here. We'll get through the next 30. And like you said, our parents and grandparents, they've been through some tough stuff that we've read about and heard about, but we haven't had to live through. And so, it's a challenge for all of us, but we'll get through it. It's not going to last forever. We'll get through it, and we will appreciate the simple things that we took for granted at one point. And a lot of that has to do with each other and relationships. And like Everett said, slowing down and looking back and, understanding where we are and where we've been and how we've evolved. I think there's going to be some real enlightenment through this whole thing, because we have the time to think and breathe and meditate. So we're always running, productivity here and there, taking the kids to soccer and baseball and the play and the whatever. And now we're forced to slow down. If there is a reason for everything, there's a reason for this. And we need to, take it in and appreciate it for what it is and stay healthy.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna go to Kim.
Yeah, very quickly, I'll just say what to send out, being cognizant of what we send out, that energy, and what we bring in.
Yeah. Awesome. That makes sense. I just want to make a few little notes. The part of our intention for choosing that breath exercise and having that first on the list is because that's a quick, easy way everywhere you are to reduce your stress. As new developments come, if we're hearing lots of things about not being able to go here or there. We don't know how long the kids are going to be out of school, probably maybe through the end of the school year. Just keep your intention in front of you so we can shift the dynamic of what's going on in our own lives and in our communities, with our families, and in our cities and states and in the world.
Yeah, I would say we are, I think we all do a lot of planning, pre-planning. And I think as we move forward, we should kind of reflect and shift our strategy to where we're thinking of the moment. Like heartbeats, those will be the critical things that we're going to have to focus on because the world is changing so rapidly. You will be doing a string of moment to moment decisions and reflections and actions. So that we used to plan out, now we're going back to just dealing with the moment. And I think you really take that and combine it with the breathing that some of you choose to do, you will find just how refreshing life is becoming. It's refreshing. I'm telling you, I'm the happiest guy right now in this room and in my house. I'll tell you that.
I wanted to agree with whoever's talked about getting with other people. I mean, isolation is a double-edged sword. So remember all the people who love you that you can reach out to in any moment as you're social distancing, as they call it. And all the ways our grandmothers, the things that we can remember that they did, put away frozen vegetables, buy certain things that would last, make pots of things and freeze them in little containers so that they wouldn't have to cook every day, but there'd be good, nutritious food for all of us. How they maneuvered in their social circles so that they had support, how they found little ways to take care of themselves, baths or this or that, home spa treatments. I was like, oh, I need to get that thing out from my feet. And then Ever and I were talking earlier today about the planet and how even though this virus may take people's lives, hopefully not too many, but we know that's happening already. But us slowing down and being still has a healing effect on us and also a healing effect on the planet. We're not driving our cars as much. People aren't in the air. We're not polluting as much. We're not doing as much. I think there's a way in which I want to hold that as part of the process, that the planet is healing and so are we. So I just want to take a moment to, as we're closing, just to have a silent prayer or meditation for a moment. I didn't really plan out what to say. I'm gonna just go with the Spirit. We are so grateful to the universe, to Father, Mother, God, to the Creator, whatever name we choose to use, that we are here, we can breathe, we are healthy, we are survivors. So grateful for each other and the ability to come together remotely with this amazing technology that we've created as humans. And looking forward to all the things we will manifest and create in the world as we go through this next period of time for ourselves and others.
We are blessed to be happy, healthy, and whole. We are grateful to everything that is going on, that we are experiencing, the lessons that we are learning, and the new experiences. We should be grateful also for the challenges that we face and how it allows our ability to persevere, to come forward, and how we bring together each other, hold up our spirits, hold up our hearts, and face whatever needs to happen to make it all right.
And I'm also grateful for this concept that Emily reminded us of flexibility, being flexible in the moment and doing what's needed now as each moment unfolds, so that we can not only survive this pandemic, but thrive and create something amazing in the aftermath. Ashe, Aho, Amen, Amen.
Y'all be cool.
Ashe.
Thank you so much. If you need us, here's our email addresses, our website. If you want to check anything out, just call me. A lot of you have my number already, so call me, or email Everett. We'll get back to you. Our lives are slowing down in some ways and speeding up in others, thanks to little kids, their little feet. But we're here, so we're available.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Be
being
well,
here.
everyone.
God bless you all. Peace.
Good night.
See you next month.